Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. My name is Bahamut. We are joined this evening by Casanova. How are you doing, my friend? And are you ready for our Division B West matchup?
Look, I'm ready for another team match here. Had a lot of fun casting the first series we had today. It's been great to be back, and yeah, I'm ready to see these two teams duke it out on the Tomb of the Spider Queen, the old tomb.
Well, let's go ahead and find out how we got here, because we do have a couple map bans to catch you all up on that information. Coin flip was initially won by Roll1Esports, and they opted for first pick priority for game number 1, banning out Braxis Holdout and Volskaya Foundry. Cursed Hollow and Towers of Doom were banned by the members of Lurk Patrol, and as the opposing team has first pick priority, they are given map pick, choosing to take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. So we have a Zool ban and a Mei ban. Thoughts on Mei, because she seemed to be released super strong, got some nerfs, and now just kind of floats around. Do you think it's situational, or do you think it's more or less just what you don't want to play against?
From what I've watched, I feel like this character is actually like very not good right now. So I'm very interested in this ban. It must be, there might be a player on the side of Lurk Patrol that's actually very good on the pick, or it's a comfort pick for them, or it's an anti-comfort pick on the other side for Roll1. They may very much not like this Mei, or alternatively, Mei is good in spots at peeling hard engage that is very all-in and committal. They could have a specific strategy that they want to play against Mei in particular.
No Mei play, no Diva play, Rexar to be removed from the solo lane potential, and Kael'thas will be the high priority for the members of Roll1Esports. Good wave clear coming out from the gate. You have strong rotations with that Kael'thas to be able to get the Mana Addict finished out. I doubt we see a Convection Kael'thas here, but an ETC Sonya for the opposing side. I mean, they lock in a strong solo and they grab their main tank. Do you feel like this is a bit too early to grab your solo, or is Sonya just so well-rounded it doesn't matter?
I think Sonya has like really polarizing matchups, so I really don't like an early Sonya pick on Tomb of the Spider Queen. I think we talked about earlier how important the side lane is in getting priority and collapsing and creating pressure on the 4-man via the off lane, and I think that Sonya can do that really well in certain matchups, but she does have some that are not so good, and I would be worried about the Sonya in general. Good late game pick though. It will be really solid as the game progresses, and once we get to levels 10 through, well, more like 13 through 20, Sonya is like a very strong hero that is going to draw a lot of presence, and Leoric is banned away. This is I like this ban.
Yeah.
If you are going to R1 R2, Sonya banning the Leo away, getting rid of one of those counter picks that can really trounce you in the side lane, I think is definitely at least good that they're doing that.
Looking at the draft for the members of Lurk Patrol, they still need some sort of wave clear, a healer, and then some extra damage. I don't hate the idea of a Jaina to pair with the ETC. Ana's up and available if they want a nano-boosted Ana, but they're going to go for Tassadar and a Lucio. Going to give them some movement speed. Sound Barrier's a good kind of pause in the team fight, and if Kael'thas does go into Pyroblast, they can at least Sound Barrier the Pyroblast burst, and that does give you a bit of a window right there, so that might be the direction for that one. Real quick, Nexus Gaming Series, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for bringing all your friends over here as we are getting into game 1 of our final best of 3 series of the day, as I'm joined by Casanova. And these last 2 picks, I know I got 3 seconds on you. Any thoughts off the top of your head?
Look, B4, B5, they go Thrall Yrel. I expected a Yrel pick. It's been the whole series before we didn't get a Yrel. I think this is like the best offlaner right now. So we're gonna see that into the Sonya. I think Sonya can do okay, but Yrel generally will win out in the overall clear and rotate advantage. But Maiev, wow.
Yeah. Some dive to maybe get into the backline to harass Stukov Kael'thas. That's my only really big thoughts on it.
No range DPS except Tassadar, who now is a range DPS with the rework. But that is super interesting. Lucio all melee on Tomb of the Spider Queen into a Kael'thas. I think this is going to be pretty scary, but I would love to see how Lurk Patrol executes this composition, because I would be terrified going into Diablo, Yrel, Stukov, Thrall, Kael'thas. Every one of these characters punishes melee, and you've got a lot of melee heroes going into this. So seeing how Ace navigates these fights, seeing how High Def navigates these fights is going to be really interesting to see.
I'm really, really curious to see the Maiev backline dive. I think that's kind of the standout for me when it comes to this game. Is I think the Maiev really, really needs to make something happen for the members of Lurk Patrol and the opposing side. I think it's going to be just a lot of the setup from the Diablo. It's I think there's critical heroes on both ends that really need to make some plays. We're about to load into game number 1 here. It looks like we just have one player just about to finish up their bar, and then we'll get in. I'm just itching to find out what happens here, so there you can go. I can actually push the button through, and we are into Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game number 1 of our final best of 3 of the evening. Ektar will be on the Lucio. High Def will be on that Sonya. Gunny gonna be on the Tassadar, if I'm not mistaken. Nate will be on the ETC, and Ace on Maiev.
Yeah, and on the red side, we've got Roll1Esports. We got Poe on Kael'thas, Zad on Diablo, Big Beard on that Yrel, Velvet on Thrall, and Wanebo gonna be rounding it out on that Stukov. So they're gonna be pushing in to start things off here, Baha. Exciting to see the posturing for level 1.
Cyan Fusion from Tassadar, and we have Crash Lightning from Thrall. For anyone who's normally in chat when this happens, you know what to do. If not, we keep track of Crash Lightning in chat. So go ahead and do that. If you, I think I have an emote for it still. I don't remember if I got rid of that emote. Either way, Ektar dives in with the push off, looking to set something up as Ace gets the Umbra Bind onto a couple players. FPS Nates gets the power slide that locks down the Thrall, and they're able to get a kill here. Casanova, can they get Zad as well?
Nah, they're not going to be able to pick him up, but that was a great pick onto Velvet Ace with a very good pull back, and this is a nice knockup from Poe, trying to find the follow-up, but Nate able to figure that one out, get Ektar out of there. A very good cancel onto the flip. Well done by that ETC, keeping his teammates alive. And the wave clear from Tassadar, disgusting as always, able to help them control this early game. And, you know, I talked about the draft being a little bit scary, having all this melee. That's not going to come online until around level 10. So we're going to see if, in this early game, the pressure that Tassadar can create with the wave clear is going to be enough for them to find some turn-ins and try and snowball this map, because that's going to be the name of the game for this Maiev composition.
Right now, Ektar and Ace working on this camp on the left-hand side. A good camp timing actually coming out from them to get some extra pressure into mid lane. They should be able to cycle out and grab their Siege Giants for bottom lane to offset that pressure as well. I would expect them, once they finish out that camp, to either... Yeah, you can actually see it on the minimap. Ace is going to split off as Ektar is going to join the friendly team. This is really good communication and camp timings. Like, this is down to pat, meaning that they've been practicing this. It's not like they're coming into games like, oh, maybe we'll grab the camp here. Like, no, they've got to set up rotation, and Big Beard and friends might be getting baited down here, but I think they see too many, so they back off, and this will just be continued rotations between lanes. Do want to note one thing really quickly. It's going to be Bonds of Justice for the Maiev at level 1, so they're stacking on that one. ETC will be going into the Proc Rock at level 1, but Cass, there's a dive in from Zad.
Yeah, Zad gets its Shadow Charge in, not able to find the flip as Ace is able to get away with that E ability. Nate gonna move in, try and look for the power slide. They go on to Diablo. I don't think they have enough damage. No range DPS here to actually pick up a conversion, but a very good trade, and we just see that tap forced out of Zad as he moves back onto the wave.
They also forced out Gladiator's Medallion. That's what I was remarking, is because I just saw them, I just see this, self-cleanse go out. Big Beard getting caught out, though. They're going to try and get out of there, but Dauntless won't save you this time, Yrel. ETC finds the power slide for the last little bit of damage, and second blood goes over to the side of Lurk Patrol.
Yeah, so I mean, I talked about snowballing with this composition, with this Maiev. I mean, I love this hero. Maiev, one of my favorite picks of all time. I've played it as main tank. I played it as a flex player. It was my favorite hero to spam in Storm League. I think she's extremely powerful, a little bit underrated right now. I saw a tweet from, I believe it was Cure, also saying he thinks it's underrated. I haven't seen it picked a lot in in-houses, but I'd like to see more of it. I think she's very strong. And yeah, getting to see it played by Lurk Patrol here, it can get a lot of these early advantages, and Velvet might be getting caught out again. No, gonna go on Zad instead. Doesn't find the pull, ends up hitting the minion, the misclick on the A click there, and not actually able to get much of a trade. But I like what Ace has been doing so far. There's almost a level lead for Lurk Patrol already, and they're getting kind of close to this turn and they have enough gems. It's just about timing. If they can time this first turn in with their heroic abilities, with this level advantage, and then convert to kills or forts or structures into, you know, second turn, like that's how they're going to win this game, because as this scales to Roll1 having heroics, it gets a lot scarier as we get this pick onto Thrall.
The chain CC coming out from the members of Lurk Patrol was so well played right there. They had the force wall to lock them down, and just the power slide, Ace with the Umbral Bind and the Spirit of Vengeance kind of pop in there as well. Good damage coming out from Lurk Patrols. They solidify a third kill into the enemy team, and I believe that's the second one onto Thralls. They're still on one stack of Trash Lightning, as that Zad getting caught in by the Force Wall once again. The same play is made. Unfortunately, this is a Diablo. The booty's too thick, and they're going to be able to walk away.
Yeah, and I think, you know, this turn-in coming in for Lurk Patrol, I wonder if this is too soon. I'm concerned that they might not be able to get enough pressure off of this turn, but it's all going to come down to watch Ace. Eyes on Ace here. If he can find a pick, that can change this completely, and that's a pull on Velvet, but Zad able to pick him up. Now Ace is in trouble as he's running away, and that might cause this to get cleared away pretty easily, but Velvet getting poked down. Is it going to go down here? No. Able to walk away, but he's not going to be clearing much as Zad is taking a lot of damage, and Ace trying to find the pick. Gets in on Velvet. Again, living with no health as Weneva is pulled back by Ace. That Maiev getting that kill, and they are creating so much pressure. This is Gunny in the back, gunning everybody down with all this psionics, and that is going to create a massive lead. They did find the picks that they needed. They had to find kills here to actually convert this Webweaver, and they do, and now they're going to hit their heroics with still pressure on the map as we see a kill go across on the top side onto Kel'Thas.
The enemy team has currently 14 gems in their pockets, and that's only on Yrel. I want to point that out. They have denied so much of the economy of Roll1Esports from the side of Lurk Patrol. Really, really well played from them, as they're going to find a double fort off of this first Webweaver phase. The Toe of Diablo on the right-hand side from the power slide, but you said it so well. Ace made so many setup plays. They did have to back off as there was a lot of burst damage from Kel'Thas, but now I want to point out that Gunny with the Psionic Echo, I believe, from level 7, yeah, basically that got the second cast on the Psystorm after they had that Shock Ray come out, and that was really just set up so much good damage on the Diablo. Well played from the members of Lurk Patrols. They find themselves a solid 2-level lead over the enemy side. We're going to go ahead and cycle through the other numbers, get an idea what the damage, experience, and healing is looking like for all of you in this game number 1 of our final best of 3 on Tomb of the Spider Queen, as this is Lurk Patrol grabbing Boss. Do they go Boss Webweaver here, Cass?
Yeah, I think they should be looking for the Webweaver alongside this. This should actually be, they should be looking to end the game.
We're 6 minutes in. What is this, HGC Korea? What are you talking about?
Yeah, they've got this composition where they have these aggressive picks, and they have Boss turn in. This was an opportunity where they can find one pick on the top side and finish. They should have held Boss and not capped with this heroic advantage. This 100% was an opportunity to actually close out this game here, as their opponents were not quite to their heroics. If they just zoned them off experience, held the Boss, and turned in, threatening the fight with heroic talent tier above their opponents, they could have timed them together, and at minimum, they get 2 keeps. I think they'll still be able to convert to 2 keeps here, but now it's about even playing field, and I want to see Roll1Esports look for a fight.
They have that Pyroblast, as we were talking about, for the heroic for Kel'Thas, but don't forget that there is a sound barrier from Lucio. I wouldn't be surprised if Lucio's almost just holding sound barrier for whenever that Pyroblast comes out, but there's going to be the reverse amp. They're going to throw out the Warden's Cage, I do believe. Oh my god, the mosh pit onto so many, the break it down coming up from Lucio. The mosh pit was still going, the Earthquake, everything being used, and Big Beard is the only one left alive as the reverse amp will continue to pull them back with the Umbral Bind, and all 5 go down. Diablo was respawned from Souls, but not Ektar, excuse me. Casanova, they're literally stepping to core 8 minutes in.
Well, I told you it was an end angle, Baha, but that's not exactly how I thought it was gonna happen. It looks like they will be able to finish this game. It's down to 30% already, but the combo of the walls from Ace, Maiev, putting those up, putting them all together for a dance party as the mosh pit hits 5.
That is by far One of the best mosh pits I've seen in a very long time. There was a season 8 or 9 mosh pit from NGS that I will always remember, that it was on, like, I believe it was Infernal Shrines. It was the upper portion. No, it was actually Battlefield of Eternity. It actually might have been Lurk Patrol that got it. It was a mega 4 or 5 man mosh in the top portion of that map. But that is how you land a mega mosh to win a game. Dear Lord, Casanova, I have never seen such good synergy, shot calling, and direction coming out from an NGS team. Like, typically teams just waffle around at that point. They're like, cool, like, we're not gonna end game. Like, but they went in and they knew they were going to end. This is wild. Holy crap.
I mean, it's not as clean as I would have liked to see it for the end, because I wanted to see them hold the boss and have that full control and put them together. But at the end of the day, they had the killer instinct where they went for that mosh, they went for that fight near the core at the mid keep, and they found a perfect corridor to put it together. Ace setting it up, and Nate knocking it down, and that was a beautiful combination of skills by these two players. And Gunny in the back had all the damage to seal the deal and finish the day. I mean, 23,000 damage in like a 6-minute game. The game time's not showing up for me, but it was a quick one.
I was like just shy of 9 or something like that. But either way, I want to point out too is they had that psionic echo during all of that, and it's just, you have more psionic storms being cast because you have a shock ray onto. It was so well played by Lurk Patrol, and I haven't seen a game played this well in a very, very long time. Like, nothing against Roll1Esports. They're a great team. Just, they got shut down so hard by Lurk Patrol. Like, either Lurk Patrol found the chink in the armor they needed to, like just that one weakness, or it was just they let them kind of step all over them in a sense. Like, like Roll1, I know that they have so much more, and maybe they'll bounce back into our game number 2 here. We're currently just waiting to find out what that is going to be. I'm just going to update these scores for everyone. Cass, thoughts on Roll1 going into game number 2? What do you change? What do you like? Do you just go for a different?
Well,
what do you do?
This is hard to say, because I think I underestimated Tassadar a little bit, but I still think Roll1 had a better draft here. And I when you have the out draft, I don't think you can change anything in draft. You should keep going. You won the draft. You had all the tools you needed to win these fights. You just needed to make sure that you were playing the early game more cleanly. You just had to get to 10s on even talent tier, and the game should be in your favor. You should be favored to win. Now, of course, there's room for outplay, as there are with high skill expression characters like Maev. But I at this point, it's just get yourself on comfort, and it looks like that's what it might be. No, this is first pick picked up. So they're gonna go, they're saying, okay, we can just outdraft again. Hey, this was a fluke. We got picked a little bit too much in the early game. Let's try and clean it up and let's bring it back in the next game.
Well, speaking of next game, we're literally loading in. That was a perfect transition as we are making our way into Hanamura Temple. Well, this is, honestly, I think this is the first time I've seen this map. Let me quickly update you on some of the map stuff for anyone wondering. Lurk Patrol, I have that backwards. Roll1Esports won the initial coin flip for game number 1. First pick was chosen by them. They banned out Braxis and Volskaya, the members of Lurk Patrol banning out Cursed Hollow and Towers of Doom. Lurk Patrol took us to Tomb of Spider Queen and won that map for game number 1. The losing team, Roll1Esports, opted for first pick for game number 2, which means Lurk Patrol has the map pick priority, and I joked about this when we were doing the map picks and bans. We all laughed about it. They legit took it, so bless you, Lurk Patrol, for, I believe, the first Hanamura Temple game that I've casted this season of NGS, because it is the first time they've actually had this pool this map in the pool. Thoughts on Hanamura Temple, Casanova? This is not a popular map.
Oh, this is great.
Okay, all right. Tell me.
So you said that no one picks this.
Nobody.
And this is a Casanova special.
Oh.
I was playing this with LFW or LFM in tryouts and Heroes Hearth in tryouts. Forever ago when it first got reworked, and we were trying to get it into the map pool for HGC.
Okay.
Because we actually liked the changes to it. We were trying to kick Braxis or something. So
that sounds about right. Yeah. No one liked Braxis at the time.
We were trying to get Hanamura in instead. Mm-hmm. I really love this map post rework. I think that there's a lot of really cool rotations. This is a constant motion map. It had its own strategy. The way we played it, we would draft 2 offlaners and no tank, and then we would draft their roam squad of 3. Or we would draft offlaners that were ranged, like a ranged offlaner, like a Falstad or a Phoenix. alongside a normal offlaner, and then you would pick, you know, a tank and some roam. So you want this aggressive roam of 3-man, and then side laners that can get priority and collapse. And that's, in my eyes, the best way to play this map, and I think it still is. I don't think that's changed. I think the best way to play this map is have a very strong 3-man and side laners with good wave clear that can get priority and rotate. And,
so would you say, like...
We'll see if that's how they draft here.
It's going to be a main tank already, ETC, but even then ETC can be in the bruiser role. I've seen ETCs being played in the solo lane as with the stage dive, so they can just, you know, stage dive whenever. I like the idea that you have, because I'm thinking about this right now. Like, you could, and they're not the best in wave clear, but they hold their own. Like, you could go Blaze Imperious, so you just have top and bottom lane, and then you go like Zeratul, Jaina, Greymane, or like Li Ming, Greymane, Zeratul, like just something that's burst dive, reset
Probably
heavy.
Pick a healer, but yes.
No. We don't. We no seatbelts. We die like real men. No healers.
I wonder if it could work without a healer, but yeah, in general, the heroes you're bringing up are all very good.
Yes.
So, for instance, if I'm thinking of it in my idea of the best strategy of the game being that roam squad, I look at Greymane, amazing at doing mercs. You want to do these mercs are so powerful on this map. The samurai and the turret camp are so strong. So let's run Greymane. He's great in skirmishes and 3v3s. Greymane Deckard, insane combination. Love these two together. I think Greymane Deckard's great. Orphea can kind of do the side lane and rotate. It's not my favorite pick, but it can do that role. Greymane Deckard's amazing. On the other side, ETC, one of the better tanks for the skirmishing. There's not as much focus fire. He can't die to slow damage. That's one of ETC's biggest strengths. Slow damage, he just heals through it with his E. He's really safe. Hanzo, very strong DPS, scaling focused, can do mercs quite well, can work in that 3-man roam. Whitemane, fight heavy support, can work in a 3-man roam. I personally have beef with Whitemane. I think she's a horrible pick, but beside my point, I think this is a spot where she can work. Now we see Raynor. Raynor historically has been a solo laner as a ranged DPS. He can work as one of your offlaners. So, you know, we're seeing both sides kind of have the potential to play this strategy, but it's a question of will these players do that? Is that the Hanamura meta that, you know, we were starting to develop back then, but it never got shown because it was only in scrims, right? There weren't tournaments after that. It was just like, when there were, like, Hanamura was either banned or it was banned away from the teams that wanted to play it. So this is really, really interesting to see. Muradin, great roaming tank pick. I like this. Leoric, a side laner. So for the draft so far, I love what Roll1 has.
They put together a lot of good lockdown and setup right now, but the same can be said about the opposing side. Power Slide, Celestial Charge is a great combo. I would expect Raynor to be going into Exterminator at level 1 just for faster wave clear, camp clear, because realistically on, you know, you're talking about developing the meta of this map. The meta that at least I see in a lot of the games that I cast of this, or at least watch of it, or whatever you want to say, is the true actual objective on this map is not the cart that you push around as a group. It's the samurai, the sentinel camp. Yeah, the giant Genji, as also a lot of my friends will say when we're playing, but that sentinel camp is the true push power on the map. So I'm really excited to see the Merc potential coming out from our blue team. Lurk Patrol looking very strong in that right, but as you noted, Greymane strong. Muradin actually can be insanely strong depending on the build they go. So there's good camp and lane pressure coming out from both sides. The team fight, I think, is going to really be what boils all this down, and it's going to also be in that right. I can't really lean one way or the other. I think it's just going to boil down to the execution of the team fight because both teams are insanely strong. But Casanova, we're here, we're ready to go. We're on Hanamura Temple. On the left-hand side, we have the members of Lurk Patrol. We have Harnock on the Imperious, Ace on that Raynor. Gunny will be on the Hanzo, Ektar on the Whitemane, and FPS Nate on the ETC. Look at that cool cat. It's a very cool cat.
Cool cat.
On the right-hand side, who do we have?
I bet that cool cat jams for sure.
Oh, they cat jam for sure.
On the other side, we've got Roll1Esports. That's Big Beard on the Leoric. It's going to be Poe on the Greymane. Velvet going to be piloting that. Oh my god, I just can't tell.
I know.
That's Orphea. The mouths and skins are so different. It's been so long. That's Zad on Muradin and Winebo going to be on the Deckard. That Orphea, I could just not tell who that was. I could not, for the life of me.
Can we talk about Lurk's Skinergy right now? Because
yeah, that's great.
Damn, boy, gold on gold looks great. Let's actually get into bottom lane where I'm sure people are actually fighting. Target practice for Hanzo at level 1. So looking to hit everybody at least 3 times. They get 30% range increase when they hit everyone once, and they get 100 extra damage when they hit every single person 3 times. I'm expecting, I guess, this to be just explosive arrow at level 4 as well. Maybe. Or, oh, you know what? We could eventually see, like, spell power, I believe, at 16, because this is one of the auto attack builds that I've gone into, where you basically Stormbow auto attack, and you just burst into people with Hanzo's Gunny. Almost goes down right there.
Yeah, jumps away, but that's going to be the slide onto Murid, and we'll see if there's follow-up. He stops the jump. Really well played by Nate, but there's not enough damage yet for that to do much of anything, as Gunny takes a lot of pressure from Poe and Velvet. So continuing to push this wave out. Interesting, no one has moved to camps yet. We'll see if they start to, as there is wave priority for the blue team, that is Lurk Patrol. And they're starting to move towards that Sentinel with the Raynor and the White Mane.
Exterminator from level 1 is what we were talking about in the draft a little bit. The basic attack damage, basic attacks deal 50% more damage to minions, mercenaries, and monsters. This is increased to 125 while inspiration is active. Hanzo, though, gonna sneak into top lane looking for the Stormbolt. They're gonna miss it. They still actually get the autos in, and Lurk will go down in top lane.
Yeah, Lurk very low there, but we see a little bit more action in bottom lane. Nate actually getting the boot onto Velvet, trying to jump away with that Q, but Ace is just going to gun her down, pick up that kill, and this is already 2 quick kills for Lurk Patrol. Starting to look a little bit like that repeat of game 1, and a massive EXP advantage is going to start forming because they got the offlaner pick. You know, we talked about offlane being so incredibly impactful, and this experience gap is pretty much entirely from the waves that were lost due to the death up there, and you know, the mercenary camp difference, as well as we see Raynor soloing out the turret camp, and they have picked up the mercs with these observer camps as well. So these are going to be, you know, small advantages, but I say small, but look, it's almost a full level as they engage onto Poe once again.
Little plays make big differences in Heroes of the Storm, and you and I were talking about, you know, solo lane loss earlier, and you were just mentioning it, but I also want to point out there was a really good communication coming out from Lurk Patrol. They had Gunny rotate into top lane, not only to get stacks into the Lurk, but to also, into the Lurk, that allowed their Imperious to back and fully get mana and health, which now they're back up in that top lane, because into Lurk, they might lose out because of, obviously, there's going to be the Spectral Leech from Lurk, and you're actually seeing Harnock and Big Beard very low. No one going to be going down as they back off and tap their wells. Nectar has the push on this objective while they continue to brawl out in bottom lane. No one going to be going down there.
Yeah, and you know, we want to talk about these merc timings as well. Sentinel camp for Roll1Esports has still been untouched. They have a Greymane, you know, he can certainly go up there and try and get that done alongside the Decker. And Harnock trying to get that kill onto Big Beard, but it's just a little bit more trading in that side lane. But yeah, again, you know, merc pressure is massive, and this is just an observer camp being picked up. We don't see that roam that I was talking about. We don't see them getting all these mercs on cooldown, because you can generate so much EXP and map control by just consistently getting these every second they're up. And we're going to potentially see 2 Sentinels before we see 1 for the side of Roll1, and that is a massive amount of experience.
We do have them. Maybe they're finally listening into us. They're like, okay, fine, Casanova, we'll go do the camp, but Raynor is going to get hit with a Stormbolt, and they could look to invade onto this. Yeah, FPS Nate's coming in.
Yeah, he's going in, and he just immediately takes control of the camp. Roll1 seeds this, but this is so much EXP that is going to be taken away. I mean, just look at the chunk on the bar. You watch the bar when a Sentinel camp is taken. It is so important, and they're going to get the turret as well, and this game is looking terrifyingly bad for Roll1 at this point as they try and start this fight, but the turret being placed down by Hector, and they just replace it as Big Beard gets away, but at what cost? They lose the turret. That's a lot of EXP going in the way of Lurk Patrol, and they've just got a huge advantage as their Sentinel spawns, and this is going to be 3-0 on Sentinels, and you can just see it expressed in the experience differential.
Not only is there that, there's also going to be 2 kills on top of that. And I'm going to cycle through the other numbers because we've been talking about experience damage and healing a little bit here, and we might as well at least show you what those numbers look like, as Imperius is going to scout out the enemy team who's taking an aggressive rotation. This is even talent tiers, 8 to 7 in level, 7 talent tier on both sides. Gunny still poking on that Hanzo. Harnock angling to step into this. Ace is on the far side, but Gunny just pokes out as Sentinel camp is still bottom lane. ETC works on the observer camp for this bottom portion of the map, and an invade comes out from the enemy team.
Yeah, it looked like the start of an invade, but right now Roll1 is a bit scared to fight. I think they need to be playing more aggressively. They're just falling behind in experience. They're not behind a talent tier. So looking for something now instead of waiting until Lurk Patrol hits that level 10, gets their heroics, I think would be in their best, you know, it would be advised, but yeah. Right now they're just getting poked down by the Hanzo. They need to start the fight immediately. They can't allow time for these auto attackers to get so much poke. You know, Raynor is disrespecting Zad right now, walking up and right clicking him, so need to be looking for a lot more. Really good penetrating round as Murden might have stepped into Ektar. There's a power slide from ETC to lock them down for a second. They try to dwarf toss away, but the auto from Hanzo's enough, and Casa, they're playing this so well. Just I said it in the last game, and I'll say it again this game. They're playing off of the tiniest oversteps from the enemy team. Yeah, Nate does not allow this Murden to have any fun whatsoever. Zad not being able to jump away as Nate is constantly hitting those face melts. Really well done on the ETC, setting up for his DPS players to pick up these kills. And Velvet walking up, just taking a ton of damage from Gunny. Gunny just constantly putting out damage, and he's been pretty much untouched this entire game. I think Roll1 needs to start trying to punish this Hanzo a lot more, as once again, the Sentinel being stolen away by Lurk Patrol. Their command of this map has been very, very well done. Yeah, very good communication coming out from them. Fun fact, or not even fun fact, let's have a little guess here. Who's got the highest heroic damage on the blue team? Without looking, who's got the highest heroic damage? It should be Hanzo. Well, it's actually Imperius by about 2,000. Oh, well, okay. Balanced character. Balanced solo lane character. But we have an invite. He's fighting Leoric, Todd. Okay, all right. But it looks like all right, Baha. All right, Baha. Looks like they're posturing for the fight with the heroics coming up. And Leoric already half HP before anything gets going, as another turret camp is likely to be stolen away. I want R1 to force the issue, and we are going to see that. That is going to be the Avatar, as the mosh pit goes down onto the tanks. They're not going to pick up much of a 4-man arrow into the stun from Imperius, as the stun comes across with the Storm Bolt, hitting onto ETC, but it's not enough as the health bars are melting from Roll1. And that's going to be Lurk Patrol picking up the objective alongside a couple of kills on their way out. Picking up yet another turret camp, as this has just been domination across the board from Lurk Patrol. Constant pressure into the enemy team, constant pressure into the team fights, really good range, really good control. Anytime the enemy team tries to step up, they've got something to deal with them. There's the Entomb that's going to be sidestepped by Hardknock. I got it, like, there was a crushing jaws that interrupted that mosh pit in that engagement, and ETC was like, cool, my mosh pit's over, just going to go ahead and power slide and continue to harass this team, and Gunny and friends will just join into Ace and Ektar helping out this camp. Really, really well played heroic fight, and in the sense of heroic fight, just literally almost everybody pushing their R buttons right there. And now we have a bit of a, I wouldn't even say lull here. I think Roll1's looking for a chase and a kill, as they have 13s almost. Yeah, they're pushing in onto the Muradin, once again taking just a massive chunk to his HP. We see the angelic armaments coming out from Imperius, not actually going to proc the second half of that and deal the damage onto Muradin, as he's going to heal up with his second wind. But Nate, great positioning on the side, gets a beautiful slide into the arrow. All the CC being layered onto Muradin as he's gonna fall. The crushing jaws hits plenty, but there's no damage to follow it up. The Entomb is beautiful, but again, nothing following up, no follow-up whatsoever. And Gunny gonna be pushing down onto Leoric as they take the one kill on Muradin. But are they done yet? As we see Harnock stepping forward once again, trying to find something. Ektor looking for the root, but not able to find any purchase there, as Velvet stepping into the face of the opponent's No Fear, trying to push them away from this keep. But no kills found once again for Roll1Esports. And Baha, once again, the Sentinel. The true
the true objective of Hanamura, the Sentinel camp. This is, I think, almost every single one of them has been picked up by Lurk Patrol.
All of them.
And I mean, they're literally lurking and roaming around this map. I want to also point out earlier in the bottom lane when they were pushing in, Big Beard had a like a 2-foot Wraith Walk to just get out of the range of the Sentinel swipe, because if they didn't, they would have actually died from that little bit of damage from the mercenary camp. So just a little bit of really good play as everyone's pressuring into this front gate. Velvet steps forward. Big Beard gonna have the slow, but it looks like there's just a lot of posturing. No one actually stepping in for the team fight just yet.
Yeah, no one just yet, but the slide going forward onto Zad, not going to find anybody there. Big Beard trying to push people away as the payload spawns, and we'll see if Lurk Patrol starts to just take this one in, as I think that Roll1 has captured 1 mercenary this whole game, not counting observer camps. I think they got their first turret,
yeah,
and that has been it. There's just been map domination from Lurk Patrol, and I mean, you can see it in the level difference here. 15 to 12 on this patch. We don't see this very often, but you can see it on Hanamura with this much dominance of the mercenary camps as Gunny takes another Sentinel, and we're going to start to see the push. But there's an engage onto ECC. It looks like he might get away, but he's already slid, and this could be the Entomb. This might be the chance that Roll1 has, but they decide to back away as we see Lurk Patrol collapsing once again. Nate could be looking for this Muradin, not going to find a connection with that power slide as they push Roll1 back.
It's actually just such good hold coming out from the members of Lurk Patrol. They're just playing this so patient. Stormbolt connects onto, looks like the Raider from Raynor. Zad is just playing this. There's a Celestial Charge, but the fight should kick off just in a second.
Yeah, here it goes. Angelic Armaments from Imperius, and they just burn down the Auric. He doesn't even exist here. 1-Eba getting chased down by Raynor as Velvet goes forward, going to fall down, and that's going to be an arrow onto Poe, and they're going to finish off all of these players. Greymane still alive in the back, but he's getting run down by that Banshee. And finally, the stab from Stabby Daddy, and they're able to pick up the kill, and that should do it as we see the Samurai on the core trying to finish that one off. But this has been a domination on Hanamura from Lurk Patrol.
Decker King gonna do their best to 1v5. Unfortunately, it won't work out, and that'll be game number 2, the series going over to Lurk Patrol. They take it in 2-0 fashion. GG! Well played!